Hi Terry, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Really good. What are we going to be talking about today?
Well, we're prepping for callbacks for an on-camera shoot bookings. So I'd like to talk about the client selection process for on-camera.
Okay.
So we're calling all these people back. It looks like a lot, but there's actually 4, 5, 6 characters. So about 10 people for each character. And the clients arrive here tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So I'll be here about 8:45. And then the session director comes at 9:30, and then the actors start coming at 10 o'clock. So the clients, there are at least 10 people who book you, make the decision to book you for this commercial, and the casting director is not one of them. So here tomorrow, and they come from all over the country, will be a producer from the production company and a director, and actually this one has 2 directors. And then from the ad agency there will be a producer, a writer, an art director, and sometimes some other person who's on the account. And so you, the actor, comes in for the audition, and we hand our client a size card, a picture and resume of you. You do your thing, and then they take this size card and put you in a yes, maybe pile or a no pile. Now, the no pile to me does not mean that you're bad. A bad actor. I mean, you made it to the callback, but they see a little more of what they want to see when you actually come for the callback. So maybe you just didn't make it come alive as well as they thought that you did on the first call. And they're in the room with you personally, so they get more of a feel for you and what they want. So you leave, and then they go through all their yes maybes, and they hone it down, and then they have their first choices and their callbacks. I'm sorry, second and third choices, two backups. So then what happens is we edit a link that goes back to the ad agency, and in the ad agency, so far you have the director from the production company who's choosing you and who has a choice, and then from the ad agency, the producer, the writer, the art director. And we send all the first and second choices to them. Sorry, the phone's going crazy. We're in my office. Someone's really trying to get me badly because they tried on the office phone and now on this phone. We'll just put it on mute and I'll take care of it when we get off.
Okay.
So that's because we have callbacks tomorrow, so everyone's like,
Terry.
I know. And my assistant, I asked her to leave the room so we could do this. So we hone it down, then it goes back to the ad agency. So far we have the director, the producer from the ad agency who will be with us, the art director, the writer, then it goes back to deeper layers, the creative supervisor, the creative director of the whole agency, an account executive, and then they agree on their first choice and usually 2 backups. And then there's the client it's called a pre-production meeting. There's lots of, it could be 20. I've been in those meetings where there are 22 people. And everything is presented in a very formalized way. Nothing's haphazard about it. And they talk about everything to do with the production, and finally casting comes up. And they'll show their first choice and hope the client shakes their head and says yes. And a lot of times they don't. So then the producer who's in charge will say, okay, let's go to our second choice. And they'll show the second choice. And sometimes it even goes to the third choice.
Wow.
So yes, and you know, they're very careful with their backups because they figure out, okay, well, if they don't take this one and they take this one, what's the balance going to look and feel like of our spot? Like they figure out all the angles.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's 8 people and not the casting director.
Oh my goodness. So there's so many people involved in that final decision.
Yes.
I don't think many actors realize that.
Well, it's true, and we are preparing. We've been preparing all day for it. It's mid-afternoon now, and we'll prepare for it. You know, and we're waiting for you. You are so important to us. Like we need you. You did a good job. We need you to come back. We need you to confirm. We also need you, if you're not available, tell us right away. Yeah. So, because we have, again, this doesn't happen haphazardly either. We have a schedule to make up, and if there's, you know, we might have to fill in a slot and take someone from the end and put them in because our clients are not going to want to sit there twiddling their thumbs. They want it to move along quickly. They want their time to be very efficient working time while they're here.
So when an actor gets a call back, do you recommend that they wear the same outfit that they wore for the first?
Oh, yes, that's always a question. Do you know, I used to think that was a silly thing to do, but people are doing that now, and I have heard a story. I was on a panel at the union, actually, and there was a casting director who told a story that really hit home to me, and so I would suggest, yes, wear the same outfit. This director loved the girl in the red dress. She wore a different dress in callbacks, although her name is the same, and when you come in, we hand you him or her the picture and resume, and you know, they started like putting the pictures all around of all the choices at the end for the finals, and he said, where is that girl that was my favorite in the red dress? Okay, well, she's here. She just happened to be wearing a different dress. So wow. I tend to now answer that, yes, wear the same thing. It worked the first time, so yeah, wear it again. But it's not crucial.
So it's kind of keeping the continuity, though, because they're seeing so many people, and it may be a trigger point to them to remember you.
It may be. Mm-hmm.
And how about the performance? Would you say keep the performance similar to what you've done? Like don't try and take any risks or anything?
Would never take risks at a callback. You're true to who the character is. You've made your choices. You understand your choices. Mm-hmm. And you got called back for the choices. So it would be absolutely suicide for you if all of a sudden you decided to do something different.
Yeah, got it.
And not that it's going to be exactly the same, but like I said, you understand the spot, you understand the character, you made your choices. Mm-hmm. It won't be exactly the same because otherwise it would be stiff.
Yeah.
And you know, it won't feel natural.
But it's not time to improvise. You got in there, you got the callback, be consistent with what you've provided the first time.
Absolutely.
Wow, how exciting. Well, it sounds like a really interesting process as well from the casting point of view.
Yeah, it's complex. And then we put out the avails tonight, tomorrow night after you all leave. They all leave, it's usually too late, so then the next morning we put out the very strong avails because you're going to be presented to the client. And don't forget, if you've been called back, you know the shoot date, so you should not have come in if you weren't available for the shoot date.
Right.
That would be crazy also.
Mm-hmm.
Really a waste of our time.
Mm-hmm. So once people get penciled in, it's usually just the top 3 that get penciled in, right?
What do you mean by penciled in?
Penciled in. Like if they get the call back and they're in the top 3 choices, like the...
No, yes, the top 3 of each character.
Right.
Yes.
And then...
We call it, we put you on a veil.
Okay.
I know theatrically they're using the word pinned now. We got pinned. But you won't hear that commercially. You'll hear you got put on a veil.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's saying, when you are put on a veil, how many people are...
Hi, somebody.
Oh, sorry, her name is Anne Henderson.
Hi, Anne.
When you are put on a veil, how many people are you doing this with? I think we just answered that.
Yeah, we usually put if there's 3 choices for each character, we'll put 3 people on a veil. If there's 4 choices, we'll put 4 on. It would be highly unusual to have 1 first choice and more than 3 backups.
Yeah.
It's usually 2. Sometimes it could be 3. I've really never heard of 4.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Terry, for your information.
You're welcome.
Everybody's thanking you.
Oh, thanks everyone for coming by. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Great.
With more tips.
Good luck with the callbacks, Terry.
Thank you.
Bye.